Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to the Making Deal Finding Easy class. This is one of our advanced classes, and today we have a very special guest speaker in the house. Jared Brenchley is going to be sharing with us his knowledge and expertise on how he goes out and finds the incredible amount of deals that he's finding on a monthly basis. So let me share a little bit with you about Jared. Jared runs 3 companies. He does multiple off-market deals per month. He's finding 2,000 off-market deals monthly on average. Jared runs a podcast called How to Real Estate, so you're going to want to check that out. And then you can also find him on YouTube and get a lot more information around the content that we're going to be sharing today. His YouTube channel is also called How to Real Estate. So as we go through this content today, you're going to want to take notes. You're going to want to stay tuned because he's got some amazing things that he's sharing with you that's going to make it easy to go out and find these amazing deals. So real quick, before I turn it over to Jared, we have a quick disclosure. Neither Jared nor I are licensed attorneys, accountants, financial advisors, real estate brokers, real estate agents, or any other type of licensed individual. Even if we have those licenses, we're not acting in that capacity today. We're not going to discuss or provide any specific counsel, advice, or instruction that would apply to specific individuals. This presentation, this workshop, is intended to be general information. I recommend that you engage the services of professionals in making decisions that have a legal impact, especially financial decisions. So with that said, I'm going to turn the class over to Jared so that he can share the awesome content that he's prepared for you today. Jared, it's all yours, my friend.
Well, awesome. Great. I appreciate it, Mitch. Thanks for allowing me the opportunity to share a little bit of what I know and with you guys, the Mitch Knights. So, great. Let me tell you a little bit about who this bald guy really is, about me. That's me, my family, the wife, the kids. I got 2 daughters, one son, and one very patient wife. We have conversations, and I get really excited, and I run to her, and I talk to her. The first thing she says to me is, "Jared, we're not starting another business." I'm like, okay, honey. So she deserves a Medal of Honor or something. I do want to tell you a little bit about my story. So, guys, I want you to understand kind of how I started off and why I even started in real estate, because I think it gives you a better understanding of who I am and where I'm coming from. I worked as a Walmart manager for 12 years. So I was working 60, 70 hours a week, working salaried, managed 400 people at a time. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. My favorite day to work was Black Friday because, frankly, watching people go crazy was like the best day of my life. It was so much fun. Best day of the year, not the best day of my life. And the thing is, when this little one was born, I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but when this little one was born, when we found out she was pregnant, I should say, when my wife was pregnant with her, something kind of clicked. I remembered how much I missed of my first 2 kids as far as like just not being there for them. I missed my daughter's first steps, because I was working. Until I actually got into real estate and quit Walmart, that was the first Christmas I was able to spend with my family because I was always at Walmart. I was always working. And so when my wife got pregnant, I knew something had to change. Something had to change in my life. And so I decided to find a different avenue. I even started to go back to school until I finally got into a room with Mitch Nelson. And I was very skeptical when I first started listening. And as he was talking, my skeptical mindset turned into excitement and mindset of possibilities. And so I really latched on to kind of what Mitch was teaching, what he was talking about, and literally changed my life. In a matter of 18 months, I was able to quit my Walmart job. And like I said earlier, I was able to spend Christmas with and that was like a couple of months before Christmas too. So like that Christmas was like the best Christmas I ever had. Seeing my kids walking down the stairs. You may take that for granted, but when you never see that, that was very heartwarming to say the least. So I was able to see my kids walk down and be my own person, work my own schedule. I work a lot of hours still, but that's at my own accord, and I can always stop whenever I need to make sure I go to my son's soccer games, my daughter's dance recitals, and be there for my wife, and make sure to have time to walk my dog. So that's kind of a little bit of my story, kind of where I came from. And we'll go into a little bit more as far as my real estate journey as I went. So as Mitch said, I do own 3 companies. So I am actually a licensed subcontractor. I'm a part owner of G&G Painting LLC. So even though I'm a licensed contractor, don't ask me to paint anything. I own another company called Challenge Solver LLC. That's my real estate investing company. That's where I do most of my business from. So I do, that's where I do my wholesaling, flipping, and my buy and hold companies are kind of separate. And then I have Silverback Leads, which is my lead generation companies, where we generate over 2,000 leads a month. And also we have apps and different tools to help other investors find deals just as much as we're finding them. I'm also a real estate agent. So that's something I just recently kind of added to my belt this last year. Has been some advantages, and as you're wholesaling, you have to run through a couple extra loops, but that's fine too. And I flip houses. So I mean, I mostly wholesale, but I do flip houses as well. And I've done nightly rentals, and I actually started in multifamily. My first deal was actually a fourplex in Indiana, and I live here in Utah, which I don't recommend buying out of state for a first deal. Just learn from my mistakes. But anyways. All right. So, like Mitch said, I'm a lead generation expert. I really took that's my little girl right there. I really took what Mitch taught me in his lessons, and I took it to heart. And I literally created a system and program where we're generating over 2,000 leads a month here locally in Utah of motivated sellers. And I'm going to teach you all of my secrets here today. So you're going to find out exactly how I do it, what's the best way to do it, and best way how to contact these people and find out their phone numbers and everything. I'm really excited for this. So currently I'm a wholesaler. That's what I spend most of my time as wholesaling deals. And we'll go over more details if you're not sure, but if you haven't already taken the wholesale class, we'll go into a brief summary as far as what even a wholesaler is, what that looks at. But I do minimum of 2 a month. I've already done 2. It's been 15 days in the month, and I've done 2 deals already, and I got another one coming down next week. So I mean, it's very rare when I do less than 2 deals, but I usually do more than that as well. I'm a mentor at real estate. I help people in real estate, learning how to progress, how to move on, and also an app developer, which we'll talk a little bit about that later on. But we have developed several apps to help real estate investors in particular, which is really nice. And I am a firm believer that happiness is a choice. That's something you need. That's to give a better understanding, just me in general. I'm a firm believer, even though life may have took a big crap on your face, and it just everything's gone to crap. But I'm all about your outlook and about how you perceive certain things. So I believe every day that I wake up, it's gonna be a great day, and it always is. So that is something that I feel that everyone can take and to hold on to. It's gonna be good for you. All right, so what we're gonna learn today, finding the deals is sometimes, well, not sometimes. I think it's probably one of the hardest things in real estate, just in general, as far as real estate investings. That's the whole reason why wholesalers even exist. Wholesalers are finding the deals, and they're getting paid $10,000, $40,000 just to find the deal. If someone is able to provide that much value just by finding a deal, that's one of the harder things. So we're going to talk about, first of all, the time money scale, which we'll talk about here in just a second. We're going to spend a big chunk of our day, a big chunk of this course is how to find motivated sellers. What are motivated sellers, how to find them, where are the nooks and crannies, and there are so many different ways of finding them, and we're going to go through just about every way that I know how to find a motivated seller. So we'll go through multiple details and how to do that for us, and how to contact your leads. You can find motivated sellers all day long. I can find an empty house all day long, and it could be run down, distressed, but if I have no way to contact them, it's not going to help us out at all. So you need to be able to find out and able to contact them, whether it's through mailers, through phone calls, and actually how to find their phone numbers. I'm going to teach you how to find their phone numbers and how to do it all for free as well. And we're also going to go over what to say to land your first appointment, right? So that's going to be the biggest things. How are you going to get someone to say yes? I think that's very important. We're going to dive a little bit into negotiations, not too much, and then how to close that deal, to get that deal closed. So we want you to jump from point A over here. Jump over that ledge. So that's what we're going to be talking about here today. Okay. So this first modular is this how to find motivated sellers, right? And we're going to do multiple modulars throughout this. We're going to break this up as much as we possibly can, just so it's easier, guys, to kind of follow along. But first, I want to talk about the time-money scale. Now, for me, the time-money scale is everyone has either more of one thing or another, or they could be right in the middle. Some people have a lot of time on their hands, but they may not have a lot of money. And some may have a lot more money on their hands, but not a lot of time. So every strategy that we have kind of falls in the scale. So if I say, for example, like 1 would be you don't have any money, but you have a lot more time. And then 5 would be you have no time, but a lot of money. So like example would 5 would be sending out mailers. So you don't have time to knock on doors or to make phone calls, but you have money to put into this lead funnel to do it. So you can put your money in and then you find deals that way. Or for example, if you don't have any money, but you have some time on your hands, driving for dollars, driving around looking for vacant properties, making phone calls, those type of things. And then there's plenty of activities that kind of fall in the middle. So you kind of want to have a mental note as far as where you kind of fall upon it. Are you able to put in $200 a month into your marketing? Are you able to put in a couple thousands of dollars a month, like I do, into your marketing? Or if you don't have any money, but you have a couple hours a day which you can spend into it, and that's going to be enough. So you're going to be that's going to give you a good indication as far as where and where you're going to put your time and energy, because I'm going to give you lots of ways to find deals. We're going to talk about plenty of those, but you got to find out where you want to put your time and energy into these. Okay, so that's going to be a big thing as far as where you fall on the scale. And then as you progress, as you go into the more money sides, you can kind of fill in everything else. It's pretty nice. There's lots of ways to find deals, and guess what, guys? They all work. Some works better than others, but they all work. And I'm going to give an analogy of kind of how you should do this. So one of my biggest errors is that I have what I self call or self-determine shiny light syndrome. So when I see something very exciting or shiny, like, oh, that's really cool, I want to learn how to wholesale. Oh, I want to learn how to flip. Oh, I want to learn how to do multifamily. What's this shiny thing over there? Like, that's like when I say my wife says we start a conversation, she tells me we're not going to start a business. She's not joking. It's like, because I have a great idea, honey. You know, and so shiny light syndrome is a thing that you may or may not be suffering from. But what I'm going to recommend is we need to be like the circus performers. So if you guys have seen this on TV or live, you got the plate spinners. All right. So what do? They start out at the very beginning. They start off with one plate, and then they spin it. They work on that one plate a lot, and they spin it until it's going. It's going by its own. See, this plate's going just fine without any problems because that's what he started with. And then once that's going, he starts on the next pole and starts the next plate and spins it, and then it is the third. Oh. How to go back?
I think this one.
Okay. Anyways, technical difficulties. Then he spins it, and he goes in the third and fourth, and then he'll keep on. Then he'll reach on the first and second and third, and keep it going. Make sure that they have momentum going on. So here's what I'm going to recommend. As I'm going to go over each and every single one of these details, guys, spend the time that you need to learn one, master it. Make money in that lead funnel before you move on. Because guess what? Whatever you try, whatever you're going to do, you're going to fail. And you have to be okay with that. The first phone call you make, you're going to feel like you sound like an idiot. Believe you me, that's how I still sometimes make a phone call and sound like I'm an idiot. You know, I'm going to stumble on my words. I'm not going to have the right thing to say. You know, and that's what holds a lot of people back because they have that fear of failure. So I highly recommend whatever you choose, whatever on the money time scale that kind of and that fits your current situation and also that fits your current likes and think something like I can do that. Work on that, focus on it, master it, then move on to the next one and keep that going. And that's how I have multiple lead funnels. That's how I was able to learn all of these different strategies through Mitch's mentorship and also just through practice and doing it is mastering it and then move on to the next and keeping that going. So that's how I have multiple plates spinning at the same time because I have it going. I built a system in place for each and a single plate where I can move on. Okay, so we're almost almost done with the first module here. But first, I want to talk about one of the first plates we're going to talk about. One of the first lead funnels, and this is a pretty easy place to start. Real estate agents. Now you look at this funny guy. I mean, a lot of times we're kind of an uphill battle with real estate agents because a lot of them, there's a little bit of a battle between real estate agent and investors. A lot of real estate agents, they see, when they think of investor, they think of this guy. That's what they see. A lot of them, to be realistic, right? That's what they're taught to in the brokerages too. Like, oh, I'm dealing with an investor, and they hate deal. They waste their time. They don't know what they're doing. They're just trying to get more. They're just trying to scam people out of money, and so that's the battle that we're up against. But real estate agents, if done correctly, can be a massive key and help to your strategy. So real estate agents are a great way to kind of start off. And once you get this plate going, this is an easy plate for it to continue. I'm not a huge fan of on-market deals, especially right now in this current market in 2020. However, it is a lead funnel that can produce a lot of leads if it's done correctly. And so it's definitely something to consider and to look over. So not all agents are created equal. Let's put it that very clearly. You want to find the right agent. Now, every agent you talk to, at first, they will be very nice to you, and they're like, oh, yeah, I can find you off-market deal. I'll send you everything you want. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can do it for you. That's going to be every agent you're ever going to talk to, okay? But you don't waste your time. Time is the most valuable asset you have, so don't waste your time with agents or anyone, for that matter, that's not going to give you the value that you need. So, and some agents hate us, right? I mean, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier as far as before, like, that's the picture that we give them. That's in reality, some investors are actually like this guy. You know what I mean? Maybe not the looks, but the same kind of sleazeball attitude. And so we do have to kind of beat that persona of that negative stereotype. And so we can do that by just finding the right agents, and also by holding ourselves with high standards. You have to find a qualified agent. And that's kind of what I'm talking about as far as not agents all are equal. And we're going to go over some strategies and what questions to ask your agent, and how to keep them happy, and what we're going to talk about, okay? Or they'll eat your time. Here we are. And so what I want you guys to do right now, it's an easy way is to set a goal for yourself. Now, this plate is an easy plate to start spinning. So set a goal for yourself to talk to whatever. Apparently there's some misspellings there. Anyways, so interview several numbers of realtors a week, and never sign an exclusive agreement. Every agent's going to want you to sign an exclusive agreement, and that's, for them, it's a great idea for them, right? Exclusive agreement, what that means is that you can only deal with them as far as agent-wise. So let's just say you found an agent and you signed an exclusive agreement, and guess what? Now if another agent brings you a deal, you still have to pay commissions on the first agent. So it's not a good idea. They're always going to try to push that. Just make sure you're not going to sign an exclusive agreement, and you need to be upfront and transparent with your agents, because you want to make sure that they're on the same page and they understand that you're working with them, and we're going to go over some strategies on how to make them really excited to work with you. So when you're talking to agents, I want you to remember that you are the prize. Okay? You want to kind of put them in this situation where they want to work with you. Remember that always when you're talking to these agents. We don't want to be smug about anything, but here's some questions what you want to ask. So when you're talking to real estate agents, the first and probably the most important question you're going to ask is, do you invest in real estate? Now that is huge. If I'm working with an investor and they don't, if I decide to work with an agent, they are going to be some experience in investing in real estate for themselves, where they have rental, where they've done flips, because I need them to speak the same language as me. Because a real estate agent is going to have to explain your strategies to the buyer's agent or the seller's agent, and the seller agents have to explain it to the seller. So you're kind of a a phone call situation or phone line, a chain conversation. And so you need to make sure that your agent can explain things and understand exactly what you want to do. Because someone that kind of understands something and try to explain it to someone else, it's never going to come across right. And you're not going to close as much deals. And you want someone that has experience explaining your strategies to the seller's agent already. You don't want to have to train new agents on how to do this and to go over that nightmare going. You want someone with experience. Again, time is the most valuable asset you have. Use it wisely and don't let the inexperienced in that area. You can have a realtor that closes 12 deals a month, but if they're not doing investments themselves, you're gonna have to train them on how to present deals, how to structure the deals. You're gonna have to do all that stuff. So don't waste your time. Get real estate agents that invest in real estate. Don't waste your time. So that's question number one. And if I get a no, I'm like, okay, I appreciate it, man, and I hang up. That's why I don't waste my time with the other questions. That's what it is. I asked them because I'm a wholesaler, right? So I asked them, have you worked with a wholesaler before? Because wholesaling, if you do decide to wholesale deals, that's when you're selling the contract. You're selling your rights to the contract. If I ask that question and they ask me what a wholesaler is, well, I know that answer then, don't I? I want people that have experience in what I'm doing. Now, if you don't plan to wholesale, if you want to keep the deal and flip it yourself, that's more than fine. This question may be, have you worked with people that flip houses before? So that's another good question too, because you want to make sure they understand where you're coming from, where you're going. Jumped a little bit, but have you worked with investors before? So they can, and that's both his questions kind of go hand in hand, right? They can invest in real estate themselves, which is key. But if they haven't actually worked with other investors, that's another important thing for them to have experience in. Again, you don't want to waste your time training these people. You want to get this plate spinning, that funnel running, getting you leads and deals as fast as humanly possible. Because nobody got time for that. So you want to make sure that they have experience dealing with investors. How often do you come across distressed properties? So you want to find something called pocket listings. Each state's a little bit different. I know Utah's a little bit iffy on pocket listing. What a pocket listing is basically when a real estate agent finds a property, and before they put it on the market, they present that offer to other people first. Now, why would an agent want to do that? Why wouldn't they just want to put it on the market right away? Well, yeah, they could do that, but this is how they can double dip. So if they find a deal, if they find an investment property, and then they know you are an investor, that it fits your criteria, it needs some love, or it's a great rental property, or whatever it may be, before they put it in the market, they can say, hey, I got a deal for you. And now they're representing you, and they're representing the buyer. They're dual agent in that case. So instead of making 3%, they're making 6%. Right? So this is why you want to be the first of their mind when they come across these type of properties through their lead funnels that they have. Let the agents earn their money. They have their lead funnels. They have their lead generation. Let them do the work for you and make them earn that money. And if they give you a deal and it still makes sense, then great. Let them earn that 6%. And come across them. When you ask about this too, because I would love if you find a property like that and you're representing the seller. I'd be totally okay for you to represent me as well, and so you can make 6%. Now we're going to talk a lot about. I'm going to brush on this again. Whenever you're dealing with anyone, especially real estate professionals, you always want to show what's in it for them. A lot of times we go and talk to people, and we're all about me. What's in it for me? What am I going to get? But really, if you want people to go to bat for you and to think of you first, you want to show how you are going to give them value. If you can go to any agent and any lawyer or anything, we're going to different strategies here in a second, but if you can provide them value and show it and be clear on what they're going to get, they're going to love you. Okay? They're going to love you and think of you, and they're going to be more likely to want to do business with you. So how often, because that'll give you a good idea as far as how many distressed properties. And when I say distressed properties, you want to say how often do you come across distressed properties that you list? That can be added in that question as well. Because they can go on the market all day long, and that's not really going to be too much of a help for you, right? So you want something that's kind of pocket listings. If you're in Utah, it's gonna be a little harder because pocket listings kind of a no here. But in other states, it's not a big deal. And have you ever done a deal with seller financing? Being aggressive, not aggressive, but being creative with our offers and financing is huge. Where you can get a deal where minimum down payment or no down payment and still have a seller financing is very big. And a lot of realtors really shy away from seller financing deals. They are terrified of these deals. One, because they don't understand they don't understand the process. They hear it's risky. They hear it's not good for their seller or their representatives. And so I can't tell you how many realtors have killed deals for me because I try to use creative financing because I'm trying to tell my agent something and then their agent tell their agent and then their agent tries to explain the benefits of seller financing. And so it's really important if you ever want to do creative financing, you want to make sure that your agent has done deals like that. So they already know how to explain even for themselves or for other clients. They know how to explain seller financing. They know how to explain the tax benefits. They know how to present the offer. They know how to do the paperwork because there's more addendums you're going to have to do. There's more things you're going to have to do as far as that's concerned. So you want to make sure that your agent has that in their artillery of knowledge and experience. And again, like as I was mentioning earlier, you want to give value to the people you work with. So would you be open to list my properties too? So if you're planning to flip the property, okay, if you plan to flip the property, you say, you know what, my goal is to buy this property and then resell it. If I did that, if you buy me a deal, and would you be willing to list it at a discount? For the agent, that's really great for them. So they're double dipping in this one house. So let me actually show you a way, and you can bring this up to the agents too, how they can triple dip. So let's just say that they get a pocket listing where they found a seller that has a distressed property, they have to sell now. They bring you the deal, and so they represent both the seller and you, and so they're getting double dipping. At that point, you rehab the property, you get it up to par, you put it in the market using that same agent, and now they're making another chunk of they're making another commission on that same property. 3 commissions on one property within 3 to 6 months. I mean, how many agents can say they've done something like that? So when you're giving that much value to them, they're more than happy to give you. Well, they should be more than happy to give you a discount as far as like throughout the entire process, possibly. Like I'm going to charge you 1% or 2% or whatever it may be. It's all negotiable. Maybe at first you start doing the full 3%. And then as you're getting more and more deals to the agent, then you can kind of negotiate down or do whatever you got to do, right? As far as having that conversation. But again, overall, you want to make sure that you're having an open conversation. You're transparent with the agent. You let them know that you're dealing with other agents. You are looking at other properties. And that you want to give them the opportunity to triple dip, double dip as much as humanly possible. If they give you enough value, if they're giving you those properties, those deals consistently. Another thing that you want to be careful with when you're running comparables. Sometimes real estate agents like to be the hero, so they may be, because with comparables, you can make anything make sense or make anything look good. So I mean, a lot of times agents want to be the heroes. That's why I try to always tell them, like, hey, you're going to list this property eventually, so what do you think you'd list it for? So they're not stuck with telling you a certain price and then 2 months down the road, like, oh, it's actually $30,000 less than I thought. So always kind of that's always something to keep in mind as well. But that's for our first modular, our first chapter. What words are a thing? And so we'll be right back for our second one. We're talking about more strategies on how to find real estate deals.